Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Press R this festive season. Cameroon had one of the most challenging elections, the October 12, 2025 presidential poll. It brought back the memories of the 1992 presidential election that was highly contested and, to an extent, controversial. The November 30 regional election had no serious stakes because of its electoral college characteristic. It's not universal. It came and it went, and we are now facing what we are going to describe as the most contested to be election. That's the municipal and legislative elections coming up. We wait to see it produce fireworks. We are going to look at the stakes of these elections, regional and local elections, and room for a new dynamic in Cameroon. We've had the presidential. Change was announced. Change has even been announced from within. And we look forward to seeing the municipal and legislative elections. We're going to look at what room there is for one of them or all of them to produce dynamics in Cameroon. I am Kilian Dandifon in Yaoundé, and this is Press R. You're welcome back. This is Press R, and we are broadcasting live from Studio 4 of the CRTV, situated here in Balatu in Yaoundé. Regional and local elections, any room for a new dynamic in Cameroon. And we've invited Professor Fru Angwafo III. He is the president of the Northwest Regional Assembly. This is his second, third, maybe fourth time of coming to Press R, and it's always our pleasure to welcome him. Welcome, Prof.
Welcome. Thank you, Sir Kilian. It's always a pleasure, and I want to greet the community and those who are watching us.
Thank you very much for coming from Bamenda just for this program, Prof. You're going to tell us what the regional assembly for the Northwest has been doing, what you have been doing as leader of that assembly that brought the confidence of the people to re-elect you. We are going to have your colleague of the Southwest, Mr. Zaccheaus Bakoma Elango, who is the president of the Southwest Regional Assembly. We're going to call. We hear he is waiting. He will be live on this program. If you are getting us, I know my director hasn't indicated yet that they are seeing you online, but I know you will be there. Mr. Zaccheaus Bakoma Elango, just get set. But for now, we'll continue to introduce the panelists on this set. Chief Daniel Molondo IV, who is the traditional ruler of Mo Barombi and Kumba. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kilian, and I think I'm always grateful for inviting me in your program, and I'm sure you know that I have something to contribute as far as the development of this country is concerned, especially in the area of decentralization.
It's not only something, you have so much to contribute. Thank you so much. You traveled overnight from the Southwest to Yaoundé for this program. Thank you so much. Meet Moa Patrick. Moa Patrick is a desk editor in the Guardian Post newspaper. Moa Patrick also, when he comes here, so many people are anxious to hear what he will say. You're welcome, Moa Patrick.
Thank you very much for this very important invitation. I think this should be the last program before Christmas, so I should be using this opportunity to extend my best wishes for you and your family.
Thank you so much.
To celebrate the birth of Christ.
Accept the same, even 60-fold to your family, Patrick. And let me introduce Dr. Binglo Jais Yumo, who is a lecturer at the Advanced School of Mass Communication based here in Yaoundé. You're welcome to this program, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Kilian, and thanks everyone in the panel and our viewers. It's a pleasure to be here and diagnose issues of development for our country and the way forward. And like you said, it's going to be a great Christmas, of course, a beautiful New Year to come.
Thank you. That's what we all wait to have. It's our wish, is our prayer, is our dream, and we want to see that come true. I cannot finish the introduction without asking you, Prof, from Bamenda. How is Bamenda now? What's the situation in Bamenda now? Security-wise, how's life going on in Bamenda? Just 30 seconds.
Well, one thing is clear. The more people are coming back to the region, and there's more activity. The markets are teeming, so we think we'll have an interesting and a good end of year with the usual ceremonies. Of course, we still have some issues here and there, but on the whole, the region is coming back.
Thank you. That is our wish, that it should not only be coming back, it should come back. Thank you for enlightening our spirits, for making us feel optimistic even more. Theodore Njamsi is a civil society actor. Specifically, he is an economist. You're welcome to Press Hour.
Thank you, Kilian. Thank you for inviting me. Fellow panelists, thank you very much. Hello, viewers. I'm really glad to be here today. We're here to see how we can contribute our own quota to the development of this country. No matter what we've been facing, we know we're always looking forward and seeing what we can do so that we can forge ahead better and always improving.
That is our wish. That is our dream. It's all about Press Hour. Faith Ngwang read the newspapers this week for us. Faith.
This week, Cameroonian newspapers have been dominated by political developments, governance debates, economic initiatives, and sporting triumphs, offering readers a rich mix of analysis, controversy, and national pride. We begin with politics and governance, which clearly set the tone of the week's press. Several newspapers focus on the reorganization of regional councils across the country. Cameroon Tribune announces that the election of presidents of regional councillors took place, an exercise presented as another milestone in the decentralization process. In the same vein, Cameroon Insider reports that 3 new regional council presidents have emerged, while 7 others have been returned, reflecting both renewal and continuity within the decentralized system. However, not all papers share this optimistic reading. The Horizon newspaper delivers a scratching headline on the Northwest region, accusing the ruling CPDM of once again undermining democracy during the regional assembly process. This critical tone is echoed by the Guardian Post, which goes even further with a provocative headline accusing President Paul Biya of preaching virtue while practicing vice, a piece that questions political morality and governance coherence at the national level. Adding analytical depth to the debate, the National Challenge asks whether recent electoral shortcomings are the result of systemic flaws or poor political strategies, reopening the national conversation on electoral reforms and political accountability. Still within the sphere of authority and leadership, traditional governance also made headlines. The Voice newspaper reports on the installation of the ESUFON amidst a historic boycott, an unusual development that exposes deep-seated tensions between tradition, politics, and sections of the local population. From politics, the press moves to state affairs and diplomacy, highlights strong presidential activity with the promulgation of 7 new laws by the head of state signaling ongoing legislative and institutional reforms. The National Daily also focuses on international cooperation, reporting on Cameroon-United States relations, particularly a renewed health partnership that places public health at the center of bilateral cooperation. Concerns over public finance and accountability also feature prominently this week. Breaking bilingual newspaper alleges that 9 billion CFA francs are missing at the Ministry of Finance, a headline that has reignited public debate on financial transparency and the fight against corruption in state institutions. On the economic and development front, newspapers highlight several projects aimed at boosting growth and improving living conditions. Eco Outlook reports that the Minister of Finance has laid the foundation stone for a future customs headquarters in Yaoundé, a project expected to modernize customs operations and enhance revenue collection. In the same spirit, Municipal Updates reveals that the Prime Minister has praised the ICT University Brazil Agricultural Partnership, an initiative that combines technology, education, and agriculture to empower young people. The paper also reports on community-driven development, with a multipurpose community hall mobilizing over 16 million CFA francs through the Ascuda initiative. From the Northwest region, the Median announces a cooking gas boom in Bamenda following the commissioning of a new LPG plant, a development likely to ease household energy challenges. In the Southwest region, the Dawn newspaper reports the launch of a cocoa processing mill in Kumba, a major step towards value addition and increased income for local farmers. Meanwhile, The Sun focuses on the energy sector, announcing the Paris 24 program, which aims to improve efficiency and reset Cameroon's oil refinery in the near future. Energy infrastructure also receives special attention. The Guardian Post reports on the rehabilitation, construction, and modernization of Sonatrel, a project described as crucial for ensuring Cameroon's energy sovereignty and stimulating economic growth. At the local governance level, Cameroon Echo's newspaper hails the mayor of Bamuso, Samuel Meme, for his sustainable development strides, reflecting the growing importance of councils in grassroots development. Human interest stories also find space in the week's press. The Herald Tribune carries a startling story of a man who allegedly faked his own death to draw attention to his children's neglect, sparking debate on parental responsibility and social pressures. Meanwhile, the Post newspaper reports that SDF chairman visited and comforted victims of the deadly Tico Road accident, highlighting political empathy beyond party lines. We round off with sport, where joy and celebration dominate several newspapers, including Cameroon Insider, Municipal Update, and Cameroon Tribune, celebrate Panthers' triumph in the Cup of Cameroon, a victory that has once again united football lovers across the country. And that concludes our TV Press Review for the week. Thank you for staying with us, and do have a pleasant day.
Thank you so much, Faith. Our viewers are with us. You don't need to be worried about that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Press Hour, broadcasting live from Studio 4 of the CRTV Production Center here in Balatu in Yaoundé. Today we are looking at regional and local elections and seeing whether there's any room for new dynamic in Cameroon. And we particularly are talking about the municipal and legislative elections that are coming up anytime in 2026. We want to look at what we expect as Cameroonians to have from such elections. Patrick, that if we were to go by what we saw at the presidential election, it will not be easy during these elections, the municipal and legislative election.
Yes, you're right, Kilian. I must confess that if the momentum that we saw during the last elections held in this country, the presidential election, if that momentum is maintained, then there are going to be a lot of surprises when it comes to the municipal legislative elections of perhaps March next year. We are not yet certain. The Electoral College has not yet been convened, but most probably elections will be in the first quarter of 2026. So we have seen the emergence of new political parties, not new per se, but we have seen the dominance, political parties gaining more popularity and all of that. And it's not just about the presidential election, but it's even going to be more crucial when it comes to local elections. Because, even though people may want to argue that, the presidential elections are very key or crucial to the development of any country, I think that the contribution of councils and so on, it's even more crucial. And so I'm sure the voters will not want to make the same errors that have committed in the past, because for the past 5 years, the report cards for most mayors are available for all of us to see. We know those who are performing, we know those who have not performed. But because of sometimes, perhaps because the process is usually not transparent enough, we see the same people who have not been able to achieve anything, still emerging as local leaders and all of that. But I think that this time around, the voters actually need to take the destiny of their own communities into their hands and vote the right people, not necessarily just voting to maintain the status quo. And then there's equally this vexing issue of, some candidates who are aspiring to some of this position being imposed from outside. It's very recurrent with the CPDM. We know how some mayors in the Northwest and Southwest came to office. It's no secret, except you want to pretend on air that you are not aware. But I know in private you will tell me what you know about all of that. And so we think that these political parties should be able to allow the people to decide who the candidates should be. What has become of primaries with most political parties? What is this issue about investiture? Where people, usually those who are unpopular or those who really have nothing to offer, end up being candidates.
You notice that I want you to answer your question.
Yes,
Anna, when you are provoking me. Go ahead.
But you always provoke me as well, so it's not new. So what I'm saying is that political parties, we need to go back to the culture of primaries. We see that happening in other countries next door in Nigeria and all of that. Even for presidential elections, we should be able to have primaries within the political parties. So those who emerge as candidates should be those who carry the aspirations of the people. We should not just have letters coming from Yaoundé that it must be this or that person, like we saw with the regional elections that just held recently, with several candidates being imposed from Yaoundé.
Well, with regional elections, as I said in my introduction, we don't even need to go so deep into that, because it's a special kind of election.
It is special, but it has a direct impact on our daily lives.
People's representative voting for other.
But those voting are those that we voted, Killer. Don't forget that those who become regional councillors are voted by councillors who are at the level of the subdivisional councils that we voted. If you didn't vote, I voted. And so it's a kind of indirect universal suffrage, because whether you like it or not, you can't take the people away from the process. It's true that we don't have a direct say as to who becomes the president of the Northwest House of Assembly, who becomes the president of the Southwest House of Assembly, but these are councillors who are voted by the people to represent them. And they must represent their aspirations. So you cannot take the people away from the process.
In the regional election that just passed, the far north and then the south region.
The south region.
They have different regional council presidents.
But you know how those presidents were voted. We know what happened in the south, when the Yaoundé authorities still thought they could impose, and the election had to be postponed for the first time in the south region before. So it was a matter of people insisting.
It means that that's happening. That's why I brought that. It means that people still insist.
Don't forget that there are privileged regions in this country. You do that elsewhere, you rebel against the party elsewhere. I'm talking about the CPDM. There are people that if they do that in other regions, they'll be sanctioned by the party.
Well, let us see what happens.
And so we cannot really use the example of the South region as a model to say that people voted.
That's an example.
Yes, an example. But
you have accepted that yourself. Theodore, what's your take on this as we wait to have the new municipal and councillors and the members of the National Assembly?
Thank you, Kilian. Elections have consequences, and if you fail to participate in the process, others may choose leaders that may not tie with your aspirations. These regional elections that just passed, we had about 25,000 electors, mostly chiefs and councillors, choosing, I will say indirectly because it was not the universal suffrage, right? Over 900 councillors, right? 20 chiefs in every region and 70 in the others. But now, what is coming up is a very important one. We have 5 more years. For instance, we would have it March because these elections were carried forward. Was it June, July 2024, extended, when mandates were extended. Now we are into the NDS, National Development Strategy, 2020-2030. So we have the last 5 years. These programs are not crafted just to be implemented up there. Everybody has a stake, even the local farmer, the local hairdresser. Excuse my word, local. Everybody has a stake. Everybody can aspire to be whatever. So now people are voting. When the elections are announced, when the electorate should be convened, we will have to choose our councillors for every region, every municipality, which means that everyone has a stake. Your manifesto really matters. So it's not about people now imposing the candidates left and right. People will have the power to choose whom they want. And it's their right to insist on their candidates. So this one has huge consequences. We talk about Vision 2035, NTS 30. We should have been at least 7 to 8% at the level of GDP, which we are still dragging around 4%, 4.1% last year, and this year talking about 3.9, 4.2%. So we have a lot to present. You are
making a very pertinent point. So how do you think that these local elections can help us to get to the SN?
I go with the local council's way of decision making, what they call the participatory development introduced by PNDP. I think since 2009, and all the mayors, they have their 5-year development plan. Like, I think all the regional presidents do have the 5-year development plans, which means that is something that is owned by the people, that is marketed by the elected officials. Now, everybody has a stake in this, because development comes from every corner. Everybody has a stake in this, which means that if people don't participate in these elections and somebody comes in who does not tie with your aspirations, your dream may never be fulfilled. So it's a very high-stake election coming up. We hope that it will be less controversial, that it will be free, fair, transparent. Everybody will have a stake.
It will always be controversial. Mark me. Municipal and legislative elections. Do you know why it will always be controversial? Do you know that sometimes it sparks death? Physical or metaphysical fights. Do you know why? Because the candidate is fighting for themselves. That's for himself or for herself. So it's your position. So you expect to have that controversy. Thank you so much for your input. Now, I'm going to come to you, Chief. This is something you have so close to your heart. Who should represent people at the local level and also at the level of Parliament in general, especially the National Assembly?
Yeah, thank you, Sir Kilian. Thank you for giving back the floor. I know people are watching at us now. Happy Christmas in advance. In just a few days, people will be celebrating Christmas. I know many people are watching us now.
Yeah. We'll be celebrating all day.
We shall be celebrating Christmas in a few days. So happy Christmas to all the viewers. I'm grateful here being here with the president of the powerful president of the Southwest
of the Northwest
Northwest Regional Assembly, who has been doing very great for the past 5 years. And we are not doubt. I personally. Decentralized expert in a decentralization process. I'm not having any doubt why the people decided to bring him back, because we have been evaluating him in a distance and we give a recommendation. I quite remember right here sometime I said that Northwest is doing very well at far the Northwest and Southwest decentralization, and they have to.
Yeah, since you are welcoming him, before you go, let me ask the program director whether we already have the Southwest Regional Assembly president. Let's just see if he's on the line. We'll confirm, and we can continue with the debate as we come back to him. Is he already on the line? Yes. There we can see Mr. Zacchaeus Bakoma Elango, who is the Southwest Regional Assembly president, who will very soon be participating on this program. So we'll come back to you, Chief. You were talking about who should be selected, elected as the local representative
of the people. Yeah, Fred, before I come to that,
I think you should just go straight.
Yeah, to be very frank, yes. I read through I listened to the papers. You know, the papers, truly they make a good job out there, but they have to make good investigation. I've always having in mind that the governors of the Northwest and the Southwest are supposed to be brought in as ministers of the new cabinet for the good job that they have been doing in the field. If Cameroonians are neglecting that, and especially the journalists, I'm not too much happy. They should promote those people. People are supposed to come as ministers, Northwest and Southwest. If not all the governors, the Southwest and Northwest governors have to be promoted as ministers in this country. We need them in the cabinet. So coming back to your question, you know, during my PhD program, I told you last time that there's a professor, if not Professor Victor Emmanuel Pundi, is one professor from the US, who told me that, he told us in class that for a government that wants to satisfy the aspiration of its citizens, it must work on 3 key pillars. 1, competence, honesty, and applied good democratic principle. I said good democratic principle. But that is not what we are seeing. And that is why our governance process in Cameroon is not moving. We are complaining everywhere. When we look at our communities, the people are intimidated. Why are they intimidated? They are forced to elect whosoever the party, I'm sorry to say, the party imposes, which is not supposed to be like that. Before people, the community decide to send you to parliament.
Yes,
or
just 30 seconds, Chief.
Yes.
People are not forced to elect councillors, because when you go into that voting booth, you are alone. Someone cannot come in there and force you. Well, if you are talking about maybe electing the mayor after the general election, well, I say yes. But with the members of National Assembly, the results that come out from the polling offices are the results that are declared. So you should be telling people that when you go in there, you vote whoever you want to vote.
First, I will start by saying that if you are going in as a councillor, don't allow the candidate who wants to stand as a mayor register you in his list, because it ties you down, because you are forced to vote him. When you register, you want to go as a councillor, look for your 50,000 francs or 25 and register for yourself, so that when it comes to electing him, you will not be forced to elect him.
But it's always a list system.
No. That's why when they go to that place there, when they are making up lists, those candidates, they look for people who can vote for them. They don't look for, when they see somebody whose eyes are open, I would say in pidgin, they say that he can oppose, create something, they keep you out of the list. They go and bring a weaker person who will just answer, sir. And they register you 50 or 25 times, so that you become their candidate. So that the day of the voting, when they say, who this person, you just put your hand.
So what should that person do? So, because the person must belong to a list. It's a list system.
Yeah, it's a list system. So
municipal, like legislative.
Yeah, that's the first advice I'm giving, that if we want to produce a good candidate for our mayor, councillors should register first for themselves. And then I'll go into the next point, that if 2-3 candidates are vying for the post of a mayor, let the supervisory authority collect their files, their CVs, and evaluate, present them to the people, to the electorate, that this man has O levels, this man has advanced level, this man has a degree. So choose who do you want, so that the people will examine the 2 people. Then when they are going in for a ballot, the secret, they will know that we are taking this man. If they take somebody with O levels, they allow the person who has a professional diploma or a degree, it will not be the fault of the government. It will be their fault. So that tomorrow when the man starts working and is not working well, the first 5 years is 0, you don't blame the government for imposing. Because we are always saying that, the government or the party is imposing people. First of all, if we make the challenge, the president has said that Vision 2035, that vision does not only mean, it means many things which Cameroonians don't have on their head. Change your mentality. mentality in voting who should represent you, mentality in voting in knowing what to do, taking your decision by yourself. There are parliamentarians who I tell you they don't have a degree, but they are in parliament. How do they operate there? After the session, they don't talk. They hide their faces. When they even come out, camera want to even come and interview because they don't know what to say and they're not even following up. You cannot say what you don't know in parliament. So that's why we are saying, if anywhere, you can't say what you don't know. So we are recommending that, please, party vision 2025 of President Paul Biya should be followed. The president has set up vision 2035. And that vision, the people should have their free will of making their choice. We don't want a situation where a party line will to supersede the aspiration of the people.
Thank you.
Let the people choose who should go to parliament and who should talk. And again, what I noticed is that all these parliamentarians, when they go, they don't come back to tell the people. When they announce a parliamentary session, they say October or December 6th. Instead of a parliamentarian to come back, meet the people, sit them, tell them, please, on December 4th, I am going for a parliamentary session. What should I go and tell them? That reflects our problems. They don't come. So you go there with your head.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You made your point.
They don't know you. You don't know what you are going
to
do.
You made your point.
And at the end, you start flashing. There's another point here again, Mr. Killian. What I want to tell you. Our parliamentarians are using traditional rulers to make their money. I will quote an example. Some parliamentarians use traditional rulers to write a minister to seek for funds. And when the funds are given, their telephone number no longer pass. I have an example.
Well, don't quote someone's name on the program.
So that's why I'm saying that now, some of them are using traditional rulers to lobby for funds from ministers, and when the monies are given, they don't inform those traditional rulers.
Now,
they just get information.
Chief,
we say that ministers are not
doing anything. This is the advice I will give you.
The government is not doing anything.
Yes, Chief.
Chief, meanwhile,
how many
people are not represented.
How many people do you rule?
In my community?
Yes.
I have close to 340 in my village now.
Very good.
Not all.
Very good. So you have the right as a traditional ruler to, during occasion, summon them, talk to them about development, and then you talk about these people who do not represent them. And as a traditional ruler, you are, first of all, even yours is permanent. Theirs is temporal. So you have a more direct link with the people. You can influence the people to get the best for your community. So that's what I advise you to do. We are going to go to Professor Fruangwafo, the third, and then Chenobu, what is happening at the Regional Assembly of the Northwest and Southwest, because we have Mr. Elango also on the line. But let me just get in 2 minutes maximum from Dr. Mbinglo Giles Yomo, your take on this subject. Then we move out of it to something new.
Thank you very much, because I was trying to look at the issue of discussion for today, and I discovered that because we have a lot to give, we try to move a little bit faster. I think the next dynamics now for the Regional Assembly is the first phase of their mandate was more of observatory, discovery, trying to understand the law, because things come within the heat of the crisis. And now, with the things that I've been able to achieve, personally, I was actually surprised, because it was not easy. It takes a team that examines issues well. Now, the next phase, if they want to be community-driven, is to ensure that they work in line with the young people, with the women. They have to ensure that their strategies are intentional, because these young people and the women have to be seen as actors, not beneficiaries, not spectators. And it's something that makes it difficult for the decisions of the assembly to actually be taken too serious. And I understand the context that we operate. But again, I think that going forward, the assemblies, Northwest, Southwest, and of course the other regions, they have to take the approach of people to media communication, not media to people. If we do a system where the communication starts from here and it goes down, it doesn't trickle to the communities and people don't understand. Secondly, we have to move to a culture of open door discussions. And these are things that...
Open door discussion. Let's start with people to
media. Yes.
And then now open door. Explain these two concepts.
Okay.
Then let's move on.
Let's start from the media to people. It is not all the times that we have to come and sit as a regional assembly. We are here on CRTV and we are talking to the people. We want the people to tell us that this is what the regional assembly has been doing because they are working. And if the people don't give them the testimonials, the feedback, the media will not be able to carry. The weight becomes very important when you use the people to position the activities and the process from the regional assembly. It becomes powerful. Because when you come and you talk, whatever you do, the next thing is that there are people, because of poverty, people have not eaten, the situation on the road, they have to tell you what they are feeling. When you handle it from that perspective, it becomes easier for Killian and the crew at CRTV now to blow it out, for people to know, because it's the people talking.
Now, open door policy.
The open door culture is, how many times do we have our leaders come and sit and set like this and have a one-to-many discussion with the community stakeholders, with the people? That's the kind of culture that we need. And I thank God that the president is here, and I think there is room for them to improve in that perspective. Let the people sit. Let's discuss about these issues. Let's not read the issues of the community from press releases, because that's not the appropriate channel for people to get information. By the time I get a press release, and I'm on WhatsApp, and I'm thinking of how my family is going to survive the next day, I'm looking for a way. How do I show my concern and my proposals to the assembly on how I feel issues should be done?
Thank you.
Let's have a session where we can discuss the issues. We'll face them, they raise their concerns, and we discuss them. And above all, let's engage in community-driven research.
Thank you so
much. It's when you come out with all those issues that you are able to move on purposefully.
Thank you so much, Giles, for your very incisive contribution.
Thank you.
I don't know, as far as coming to the media is concerned, the president, both presidents, they've been friendly to press. They've come here at least 3 times from Northwest, Southwest. But on weekly basis, we report about their meetings with the people, assemblies. Well, I don't know. I'm not answering for him, but I want you to react to the contributions of Giles.
Thank you, Killian. I want to appreciate my co-panelists to say that all what they say in theory is okay. But what we have to say here is that we have long left theory and we're in practice. On the 17th, just a few days ago, the Northwest Regional Assembly had the Partners Day. That was a day where partners from all walks of life met in the Regional Assembly, and that was precisely what they were doing. They had an analysis of the first 5 years, an honest analysis. I wasn't even there to give you this. So they worked with the administration and they did a SWOT analysis. We heard from the media, community radios. We have an agreement with 20 community radios, that is the proximity radios. So, and precisely their role is to bring information from the community to the Regional Assembly. Beyond that, I think that the press has done a good job to showcase our people-centered citizen participation model. I think it's no news to you that we have a community-initiated, community-based execution project, the Peace and Development Initiative, that started first by training and ourselves, created peace and development committees in the subdivisions and in the divisions, and the state, following that in 2023, created village and neighborhood and development committees that precisely identify the problems in the community and bring them to these peace and development committees that have all the stakeholders. They are non-partisan, the Peace and Development Committees. And the first set of projects that were done, we did 203 community projects and employed 503 young Cameroonians. A lot of them don't have degrees. So that is a model that is inclusive so that nobody is left behind. So those are some of the things. You're talking about the theory, I'm talking about results. Now,
I will ask you to give us more of those realizations that you have had in the Northwest within the first 5 years. We're going to reach out to your colleague of the Southwest Regional Assembly, Mr. Elango Zaccheaus Bakoma, he's on the line. We saw him at the beginning of this program. We want to be sure that he is still there. Yes, Mr. President of the Southwest Regional Assembly, Zaccheaus Bakoma Elango. Can we see him? Yes. Okay. Yes, there he is. Congratulations on your re-election. Tell us that you survived this first mandate and now you are starting a second mandate. We want to welcome you to Press Hour.
Yeah, first I want to thank you for inviting me to this program. I think this is the third time I've been invited to this program. I will say that I'm very elated to have been re-elected as President of Southwest Regional Assembly for the second mandate. I first wish to say thank you to God Almighty, because everything we do, the wisdom we have comes from God. I equally want to thank the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Paul Biya, the National President of the CPDM, for granting me investiture to be re-elected to the post of President of the Southwest Regional Assembly. Thirdly, I want to thank all my colleagues, regional councillors of the Southwest Regional Assembly, who effectively validated this investiture by voting for me and other members of my list.
Yes, Mr. President, if you had this confidence from you, all these people you have listed, it's because you did so much. Let's know some of the things. I know there are so many, but some of those key things that you did that gave you this post again.
Well, the realizations are enormous. It may be difficult to give an exhaustive list of the projects that we have carried out in the Southwest region, but we have some key projects that we can always mention without any hesitation. In the domain of secondary education, we embarked on the construction of pedagogic blocks in all the divisions. What do I mean by pedagogic blocks? A one-floor story building, 8 classrooms, 4 offices for administrative staff, and 16 toilets. So we built one in government bilingual high school, Bonadikomo Maifo in Limbe. It's just by the roadside on the way to Limbe. We built one in Ekondo Titi, government bilingual high school, Ekondo Titi. We built one in government high school, Fiango. This year, which is ending, we embarked on the construction of one in Fontaine, government bilingual high school, Fontaine. In GSS, Nejungmen in Tombel, we are also constructing it, and equal in government technical high school, Manfi. So by the end of this year, all six divisions will boast of pedagogic blocks in secondary schools, thanks to the Southwest Regional Assembly. I think the other things we have done in the domain of secondary education, we have built classrooms all over the place, we have built laboratories, we have equipped laboratories, we have supplied benches, because you know the area devolved by the state to us in the domain of secondary education is building and equipping. In the domain of public health, we have built mother and child centers in Kondo Titi, in Guti, in Bangem. We have put up a one-story building which is serving now at the pediatric center of the Boya Regional Hospital, and next we have already equipped it. We have embarked on the construction of hospitalization, private hospitalization ward at the Limbe Regional Hospital. We've done phase 1 this year, 2025. In 2026, we'll do phase 2. In Kumba, of course, you know the administrative block, the one-story administrative block. That's the most magnificent administrative block in any public health facility in the entire region. We have equipped it. It is operational. We have built a hemodialysis center at the Kumba Regional Hospital Annex. We embarked on the construction with funding we got from our partners, the World Bank, of an emergency unit, building and equipment, and an imaging center at the Kumba Regional Hospital Annex. At the Manfe Regional Hospital Annex, still in the domain of public health, we built a theater. We all know that that hospital was victim of arson some years ago, and that is the only public health facility in the entire division with the standing of a district hospital. So we have completed the theater. We just equipped the theater. We have built the mother and child center, which we have also equipped. And in Bangem, we have equally built a mother and child health center. The equipment is on the way. The contractor is already there at the Douala port. We have built those facilities in all the 6 divisions of the region. Our purpose, our mission, is to try to bring up the other health facilities. You know, we first had a regional hospital in Limbe, then a regional hospital next in Goya. So we think that we should bring up the technical set of the other hospitals to reduce the level, the rate of the reference cases to those big hospitals, and also try to reduce the burden on families, which we all know are not very viable.
Thank you so much. He said he did not want to enumerate all. He hasn't actually done, and that is so many. So you see what the Southwest Regional President is doing at that level, Chief, from your region.
Yeah, Mr. Killian, thank you once more. It's happened that I'm from the Southwest region. I'm a chief in the Southwest region. I'm from Kumba, where our regional president-elect is coming from. You know, I started by congratulating the Northwest Regional Council Assembly for their good work, because as a development officer, he started with development of institutions. He mentioned, the president of the Northwest Regional Assembly, he's talking of how it facilitated the creation of institutions. And even the world president, wait a minute, Killian, yes, the world president said that have strong institutions first before we start having people who can manage those institutions. Because if you don't have those institutions, how many institutions has the Regional Assembly of the Southwest brought or created in the Southwest when that will help the Regional Assembly to carry out the development? Chief, let me tell you. No,
you will continue to talk.
Northwest, Chief in the Southwest are neglected in the development of the Southwest region. Chiefs are not involved in the development of the Southwest region. Meanwhile, there can be no development. They call it people-centered development. Southwest Chief must be involved in every aspect of development. And that's why I'm not agreeing with what the Regional Council Regional Assembly President is saying.
You must not agree with what he's saying. That's your opinion. Wait, Chief, when you are talking, we'll listen to you. Allow other people to talk. Okay, you have a right not to agree with him. But what we have seen here is a regional assembly president who has realizations, who has shown one of the best is from Kumba, where you are based. And you do not represent the chiefs of the Southwest here on this panel. So if you were the chief, the representative, the chief of the House of Chiefs, the president of the House of Chiefs, who said that I will accept, but I wouldn't accept that from you, because it's not every chief who accepts what he said, as we said here. So there are so many others who accept You don't need to just walk up yourself that much. Now we're going to give a similar opportunity to the president of the Northwest Regional Assembly to let us know what he has done in the 5 years that were given to him. Thank you so much, Professor Fu Angwa, for the thread.
Thank you, Killian, and I want to say debates are important. This is a show of a dynamic in our communities where everyone is heard. Now, how do we move from diversity to unity so that we can develop? Over the last 5 years, the Northwest Regional Assembly, in terms of projects, did a total of 503 projects. 303 are community-initiated and community-based. 242 were public investment projects. All our projects were done consulting the base. Because before we got to the projects, a regional development plan was done, and this was done after consulting each subdivision. We have the associations in the subdivisions, and truth be told, we have community-based associations that have been working in the region for more than 30 years, like Schumas, like Comisud, like Gracoca, and all of these people bring us the needs, and we look at the rights of the people in the communities. So, but when this is brought, what you have is a need. That has to be turned into a project. And that is where, in our peace and development committees, we have state agents in the various sectors that take these needs and these problems and turn them into mature projects. That is why in 2021 we started with studies. We basically did studies, and I think we had 7 major studies even on how to modernize the traditional Njangi, and studies on value chain in 7 agric products. From our studies, and if you remember, we were termed Mr. Feasibility Studies because they said we should use money and have people sit around and talk. We said, no. If we don't do studies and structure what we are going to do, we will not have results. The next year, in 2022, we did, I think, 22 projects, then 45, and in this last year, we were around 96 projects.
Wow.
As we are moving. And the physical execution, with a physical execution between 98 and 100%.
That's very high.
So that is because we were working as teams. And it is very important to move from the theory to the practice of how you get people work. It doesn't mean it didn't have problems, but I'll show you the diversity of projects. The House of Chiefs chose, for instance, which palaces were to be rehabilitated. And they were the ones who did the choice. Which museums were either to be equipped or rehabilitated. Just to give you an example of even each strategic stakeholders' interest was taken care of. In inclusive education, inclusive life, we took care of the schools that have needs for inclusive education, digital libraries.
Wow.
We created for the youth, the digital hub.
I think you have so much that this 1 hour will not be enough. Now I go back to Giles. Yeah. You have seen that he's actually moving from people to media.
That's why I started by saying that I understand the first phase of the implementation. And I said the debate of today is talking about what is the next dynamic.
Yes.
I was not saying that the regions are not doing what they have to do. I'm saying that how do we move further? Because what the president said, what the professor said, it's okay, it's good. And these are projects. But it's really important for you to know that when you increase, my objective is let's increase the way we deal with the people to media, because majority of the people, you have ended at the projects that you have implemented. But now the usage component part of it. So we need to intensify our mobilization process so that the young people can know that, hey, there's a digital platform that we need to use, that if you're there, it's easy for you to access this and that. These are the structures that we'll be able to do. Because I have done, just briefly, you know, I don't talk for long. I have done a communication audit, which involves the project of the 2 regional assemblies, starting from their traditional media to the social media platform. And I'll come to discover that the communication there is more elitist. The projects that the president is bringing are projects that within the communication online, for instance, these things should come out clearly. This is percentage, this is our project, this is what I've done. But the communication is like, it's informative.
Okay, he also has to improve on the communication. Patrick, give Patrick, we don't have so much time. Give Patrick.
Just intervene here.
Yes, Patrick, please.
I came all the way from Simbok just to talk.
Go ahead, Patrick. If you check your watch, please don't waste time.
Yes, I just want to start by, I want to commend the efforts of the Northwest Regional Assembly President, because it's true that from the onset, so many people are now aware of the rule of the regional assemblies. But I think over time, the communities are beginning to feel the impact. I say this because I'm a keen follower of the social media handles. I should equally commend the efforts of those who are in charge of communication at the Northwest Regional Assembly. They're doing a fabulous job. You can virtually have a feeling of what is happening across the region just by following their Facebook page, which is very active. I give them kudos for that. But again, I think that the regional assemblies can only offer what they have. So far, I think that the larger expectation of the people hasn't been met. Because following the national dialogue, when all these institutions were created, the feeling, the general impression at the time that was given was that, oh, these are bodies that are coming to really turn around the fortunes of
yes, I will come back. We
under
to,
the guise
let me ask whether just to let him go.
Let me just exhaust my.
And we end the program. Is the president of the Regional Assembly for the Southwest there? Just in 1 minute, tell us what will be your priority project in 2026 or in the next 5 years.
During this second mandate, as I did inform regional councillors during the session as of right, our priority will be to build the headquarters of the Southwest Regional Assembly. Because since we took off, we have been functioning in a temporary premises made available to us by the state of Cameroon. So we have acquired land. The issue was the land, the availability of land. We have acquired land. The site is situated, for those who know Boya, between the Boya Central Prisons and the hitherto ministerial rest house. We have already constructed a fence around the site. It is about, the surface area is about 2 hectares. It will be a big complex with about 11 buildings, a parking space for about 200 vehicles, and also a green space. That project will cost us about 8 billion and will take a total of 7 to 8 years to be complete.
So much, Mr. President, Zaccheaus Bakoma Elango, President of the Southwest Regional Assembly. Sorry we cannot get, we know that that's your priority for the next mandate. We just give 30 seconds because our time is up, beginning with the President of the Northwest Regional Assembly. What will you do in your next mandate? Please, 30 seconds will do.
Deepening the people-centered approach, especially now that the government has given approval for the Northwest Development and Investment Fund, modernizing Jangi and having so that the Northwest region, apart from depending on revenue from the state and partners, can have own revenues to drive its development projects. That's the key. And then, of course, for the youth, the digital economy will be a key aspect of our growth in all the sectors that have been devolved to the region.
Thank you so much, Mr. President of the Northwest Regional Assembly. 30 seconds, Chief. 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Killian. When you see me reacting like this, is because of something is at stake.
Yes.
The Regional Council of the Southwest,
the Regional Assembly has completely neglected the Barong-Bimbo community. The City Council of Kumba has neglected the Barong-Bimbo community. The Kumba One Council, where we belong, where my children belong, has neglected the community. That's why I see me reacting. Yes.
But I want
we understand the 30 seconds you have exhausted. No, the city mayor of Kumba, yes, whom I know so well, who is a developer, has heard that. He's developing other places. He will come to your Barombi. Yes, just 30 seconds for you to have a conclusive statement, Theodore.
It's a great start because the first five-year mandate for the regional councillors was never easy. You had an ambitious project. I think it was 255 billion for the 5-year development plan, which means that the next 5 years will also be pregnant because another plan will be coming in place. We're equally hoping that it will diversify the source of funding, because when it comes to socialization, the amount at times is not really to expectation.
Thank you.
We hope to go to one to two. The last thing I wanted to say was that this thing concerns all of us.
Yes.
There's no other Moses that is going to come. We have to be involved because we are the ones we have been waiting for to help this country stabilize itself. 30 seconds to Patrick, please.
What do you want me to say in 30 seconds, Killian? It's fine. I think we'll come to the end of the program, in all honesty.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. It's the time that has taken us to this level. It's not my intention. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. Thank you also, wherever you've been watching us, for being part of today's edition of Press Hour.